Hi, so thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I'm Erica Scourti, and this is called hot readings, which is a type of psychic reading that it turns out afterwards to have been a con, because it's based on previously known information. So I'm just going to start the video. So yeah, this performance isn't a con exactly, but it is based on previous information, in particular a lot of previous performances and public appearances of mine that have been captured on YouTube. So you could call it a kind of performance review, if you like. And it came from a friend's suggestion that instead of constantly coming up with new stuff and new performances, I should think about taking stock. So that's kind of what I've done. So starting off with this Facebook diary, which is from 2008, where I basically took my friend's Facebook statuses and turned them into a kind of ongoing YouTube diary. And it's amazing to see how much the platforms have changed, but also how much I've changed since then, and how many cats, houses, ex-boyfriends have been and gone since the time that I made these videos. But Boris Twat, they're still around, saying stuff like, ordinary people do fucked up things, when fucked up things become ordinary, yes, I wonder who came up with that one. Anyway, at last I'm going to write a novel. Yes, this time I am. I've tried twice before, but third time lucky, and I can feel that I've got a new psychic ability coming up because I've been dreaming about being better, and I'm really rather sunburnt now. I need some painkillers. I've been broken by another day in paradise, but I'm wondering how I keep getting myself, into these conflicting situations, and I'm just angry that I'm touching myself with all of these wrong applications, and I know I'm going to hate them, so please don't send me your compare hotness test, and actually make sure you can handle the result, because it's a very bad idea for artists to compare hotness, because at some point your hotness is going to go up and then it's going to come down. So yes, new paragraph. She was nice to look at, but I had to kill her, and then come back somewhere near to the centre, wondering what it's like. When will I become less than very happy for you, just because, okay, I'm being a little bit tender, I need some help, I'm ready for having some memory of my goodness, my 20s, and all the drama of my 20s, and the whole story, which I know that so many of you have heard so many times that it's like not very interesting anymore, but all I'm saying is that there were some performances that I was doing at the time. This was also quite a long time ago, where I was repeating things like Mills and Boon's romance novels and bits of my own love letters while wandering around UK department stores and saying stuff like, see, in this life, I've been hurt so many times, I've let my guard down and covered up this broken heart and mind. So, new paragraph, I gave up on love because love gave up on me. And actually, that's another thing that kind of has happened at the moment. And it's true that having a broken heart can really shatter your view of who you thought you were going to be. Like many kids in the 80s, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a rock star. So maybe I've got kind of close enough by being on stage. Or an astronaut. That was the idea anyway. But another thing that's funny is that when I was growing up, one of my friends told me that when we grew up, we were going to exchange genders, so I gave him all of my hair clips in preparation for this time, and all of these other magic rumours emerged, like something to do with what happens then to your name if it's associated with your soul, exactly like Google or Apple Siri. Where do you live closer to the download of your voice, It's 100% legal, well, for now. I spent all my sexual urges on you. How does it feel to you? He said, you haven't got the right politics, I'm looking for Yahoo deep searching meeting pages, search engine crews are on hold from national rankings. They keep you surviving, The team believes in Ghost in the Machine, ! New paragraph. But I wasn't also there for... New paragraph. Try to not shut down, or harden your heart, It's easy. It's easy to understand, but it's just not possible. We all need community, and any dissenting universe, it's not a waste to dissent. And the people who don't want me to be sharing that's because you could have tried that too, And then if I would, you could always say that, okay, it's just too late. It's too late to try and be something special, to do something special, But if the energy is the opposite of just being able to rest in this life and not try to change it, well, that's not try to make it something different, something better, whatever, cousin. There is some need to it. New paragraph, all caps, immediacy, / all caps, presence, new paragraph, she's a woman, comma, so this is of course about female representation, dash, I'm still with all the women, even those who have betrayed me, because who is it that they're betraying? New paragraph. Anyway, generally any type of, quote, critical, unquote, practice is, you know, comma, often it feels as if you're preaching to the converted, exclamation mark, and actually it doesn't really change anything materially, dash. But I tend to think, comma, that it's like small actions, comma, that people take notice of, dash. Something, you know, something can come to create the seeds for things that are going to connect other things together, dash. I might not make something change, all caps now, all caps Lord coming tomorrow, but it might at some point, you know, online or move in the direction of the thing that I'm after, which is maybe that same thing of less discrimination, comma, more understanding. And maybe this is a way to say I'm still alive, so I'm still in this battle. This is the performance that Rosa was talking about at Transmediale, which is the first time I used my phone on this huge scale. And I remember someone saying to me afterwards, would you still make work if the iPhone hadn't been invented, which is quite a terrible thing to even have to contemplate. But, you know, I want to be exceptional to everybody, but that's not possible. You can't have a full range of a lifetime supply of friends and family. All you know is that a dream told me that robot servants are going to make your life easy and then they're going to ruin it. So sharing it with others, you probably won't be surprised. When I was making the slides for this performance, I was asking myself, what is mine? And how do I know what is mine? And how do I know what values I'm affirming? Because what is a self in this network situation? And for me, anyway, identity emerges as much through the networks and infrastructures that we inhabit and are entangled with as from any sense of coherent kind of interior, quote, essence, which is maybe relating to older conceptions of the soul. So I generally use autobiography. This is when the glitch happens. Representations and networks of value. So I'm going to talk today about those kind of feedback loops of desire and behavior, and then what it does back to us, betraying a female user who's kind of over-identified with the algorithmic reason of her personal experience, so much so that she kind of believes it to be dash herself, and reading out these keywords, colon, as if they're, you know, spoken from some kind of true dash self, dash, let's say, new paragraph. Another way of looking at it is through self-betterment and self-improvement, that it's this idea that even writing a diary, you know, it's like this idea that you can become a better person or more efficient. I mean, I write a journal every day and I would get therapy if I could afford it. And so this idea that we could become like machines, exclamation mark. If we could get to the point where we didn't have any stresses, comma, anxieties or bullshit memories or something, then we would be really, you know, high performance. But after a minute, no humans bother me now. New paragraph. I'm asking though, will I get support in bad times? Question mark, new paragraph. Because sometimes it feels like I'm just a biology of shockwaves crashing on value discounters and then statistically just having to repeat myself. And by the way, I only ever do performances 3 times because after that, it feels a little bit like you're becoming a pro, and I don't want to be controlling myself or controlling you too much with that. So I'll come back to the center. That money will not be its name. New paragraph. Is there such a thing as nothing? Question mark. New paragraph. Was there nothing in the beginning? Question mark. There was nothing before Alice. New paragraph. There is nothing left, comma. There is nothing of the depth. Exclamation mark. There is nothing you can do, comma. There is nothing to lose. Exclamation mark. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with me, comma. There is nothing wrong with you. New paragraph. There is nothing to fear. New paragraph. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my dreams. There was something. I was lying naked on the bed, out of a shower, all clean, and some kind of husband was giving a speech, and I noticed that some of my Greek friends were sitting nearby. But in the end, when the day comes to it, I always avoid choosing where I am. London or Athens, Greece, England, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, some guy I made a joke about something, his hair or something to do with the book, and he was saying how jokes are often disguised put-downs, and it's actually kind of true. You know, whose expense is the joke at? Yeah. So, new paragraph. Place your awareness right there in the center of your chest and ask yourself that. You're dictated by the breathing. Just one more. New paragraph. Yeah, this was the point before when I was fantasizing, like many artists do, about dropping out of the art world. And then, of course, the question becomes, how do you document your withdrawal? Because in that case, if you document it, aren't you still kind of instrumentalizing it and turning it into another piece of work? You know, so you're still putting it to use in some way. This was my friend who I mentioned before about the performance review.
Saying sorry.
I told her, θέλω να ζητήσω συγγνώμη, γιατί δεν ήμουνα το άτομο που ήθελα, που είχα πει ότι θα ήμουνα. Τα πράγματα που που είπα ότι θα είναι τα πράγματα, κάποια πράγματα, είχα ξεχάσει το μισό. Κάτι είχα ξεχάσει. Ακόμα και αυτό είναι μια παράσταση. New paragraph. Είχα χάσει τις λέξεις μου και τις μεταφράσεις. Και είναι σημαντικό να το θυμάσαι. Πού είναι η καρδιά σου? Πρέπει κάποιος να το εκτιμήσει. Για σένα. New paragraph. At this point, possibly as a result of exhaustion, I was thinking a lot about proxies and being replaced in some way. Because you can't pirate a body. That was the idea. But you still have to keep going on. New paragraph. So maybe she's trying to make sense of all of these versions of herself through these concepts of wondering how she might dream and how she might be an asset in your book. And you know, you can be as self-conscious as you like in dreams, because nobody can see into them, at least not yet. And then, you know, at some point, if that does happen, imagine what kind of custom property is going to happen and how you're going to have to remain there. So, new paragraph. Maybe it's time that you examine yourself and your place in our social, political institutions, including technology, which releases all sorts of energies into our lives so that we become efficient software, effective interfaces which attempt to tell the code by which human emotions can be read with the intention of ending all uncertainty and commercializing it too. And as with institutions, they're constantly changing. So what is your argument? Question mark, new paragraph, that selfies are empowering because they allow me to think of myself as okay because I can circulate and then you guys can see it. Is that it? New question mark, new paragraph. Okay, so we have to come back to the center of this question, which is who has got agency over there? Who has got agency, over the image plane, that this agency, is it about making one's visibility, physical activity, physical, organic, one's existence itself, itself has yet, in 2016, catapulting ourselves into circulation? Does that make for resistance? Question mark, new paragraph. For revolution? Question mark, new paragraph. And in this upcoming year, let's see how we can best use those energies for creating relationships from flames into somebody else's happiness, because that's not going to be my guide! Exclamation mark. Being happy causes you to suffer if you're just happy for yourself and not everybody else. What is a successful life? Question mark, new paragraph. Learning that the colors are blessed to have it and green out of every 3 steps. New paragraph. Why not? Question mark, new paragraph. Do not mistake your intuition, however, for fucking the market, however, because it's one of those few places where a rule is oppressively carried out. So don't apologize for getting stuck in blue beams and getting something that the ball and spirit claims a divine science. New paragraph. I have to accept this 2-part problem, and I think we have to call new patterns and ideas to emerge. And if you're seeking to be happy now, then remember, apparently, happiness is attracted more to itself. That'd be funny if it was true, if it wouldn't come out all so scratchy and funny. New paragraph. Yeah, I may be generous with cash, but what about being generous with something that really costs you? That's the question to ask. What is it that's really costing you that you're being generous with? How to give something in return without wanting something back? How to choose love in every moment? What could be harder than that? And this is often a historical argument that comes off in feminist artwork, particularly when it features the artist herself, like mine often does. This is when I was doing a panel, this was actually also in Holland not that long ago, about selfies, and I was kind of arguing, can we not talk about fucking selfies and instead looking at an algorithmic gaze or some kind of fashioning of a profile, in order to either destroy your online profile, kind of do something with it basically that works against the way it's supposed to work. Maybe one of those things could be becoming unreadable, a kind of disappearance of the self. New paragraph. Yeah, no kidding. One kind of exodus, could be through that. Could be through creating unreadable profiles or through proxies. That was another thing, but then who gets to disappear and who gets to see who's disappeared, who's disappearing? And could that allow for the selfie to do something else? Oh, I don't know. Maybe there was something in that, in the proxy, allowing you some kind of presence everywhere, but also a kind of disappearance. So committing myself to being an every woman, who is therefore, in terms of profile, then you have no value if you're everywhere, if you're everyone. So maybe the question is, new paragraph, is this the performance or has it ended? And am I a performance piece? And was it at its most interesting actually at the point when you didn't know if it was all staged, or if it was the slippage between what seemed to be her lived experience, and something entering the gallery space. The body stirs, that becomes a participant, strokes the body, presses the image of the container, places herself at the boundary of the viewer's action, the viewer's gesture, or even the viewer's presence, may drown out the body, reveal the body, mark the body, disintegrate, and embeds a relationship to the sensuality and anarchy through its needs for the caress. It suggests the power of the dreaming body. New paragraph. And instead of dreaming of a future where you suddenly feel inspired, positive, ready to meet and performing miracles and tricks every day, how about, well, I suppose it was when I was just torn between wondering how will I always feel trapped and wanting to enjoy life and search for happiness, fulfillment and pleasure, whatever that may be, but in a roundabout conviction that that's not all there is either. And no, it's not okay, it's okay to be unhappy because otherwise it's just about working harder. Well, fuck that. I'm not going to work any harder than that because we've reached the end. Thank you.